A good Erev Shabbos, everyone. Erev Shabbos, Parshas Emor. But it's a special Erev Shabbos because today is Pesach Sheni. It's the 15th of Iyar. It's the commemoration of the time that when we had a Beis Hamikdash and people were impure or in a faraway place on Pesach itself and couldn't bring the Korban Pesach, which was the essence of Pesach. Couldn't bring the sacrifice because they were not pure, and only a pure person can be part of the Pesach, the Korban Pesach, or they were distanced from the temple and weren't able to offer it. So in the time of the Torah, when they were in the desert, they complained to God they complained to Moshe and said, Lamani Gara, why should we be diminished by not being able to bring the Korban Pesach? You just made a rule and you said that people that are Tameh can't bring the Korban Pesach. We're Tameh. We've been carrying Yosef and the tribes into burial in Israel. We've been carrying them with us through the desert, and we're impure, and we can't do the Korban Pesach. Why should Lamani Gara? Why should we lose out? Moshe Rabbeinu brought it to God, and God said, "We're going to give them a second chance. We're going to let them have a Pesach Sheni," and this became the rule. This became a halach in the Torah that there is a concept called Pesach Sheni. That if on the first Pesach you are impure or in a faraway place, and you can't bring your korban, so then you are able to push off your observance of Pesach for a month, and you observe the eating of the Korban Pesach, the making of the Seder, the doing all the things that you had to do. You were able to push that off and to fulfill that on the second Pesach, on Pesach Sheni. What a beautiful concept. What a weird concept. Because we don't have Sukkot Sheni, we don't have Shabbos Sheni, we don't have a Sheni of anything, right? You didn't do it. And so why by Pesach are we given a second chance? Plus, what was the taina? What was the complaint that they had? They said that Lamani Gora, why should we be diminished? You're not diminished, you're potter, man. You're off the hook. When a person doesn't have to do a particular mitzvah, they're off the hook of that mitzvah. Then they're not missing out anything. They don't need the energy of that mitzvah because they're getting it from something else, and God will fill that in another way. So why are they saying Lamani Gara? Why are we missing out? So I think that one of the important lessons here, which is what many of the commentaries point out, is that God built into the system here, which in fact is going to manifest itself in other places, but that God built into the system the concept of second chances. That you're not locked into anything. We're not locked into who we are and who we are going to be. We always have an ability to change. We always have a second opportunity to be able to make something of an opportunity that we missed. And that we are given second chances in life, and you have to live with it. You have to build that into your system. That, you know what, just because I blew it doesn't mean I blew it. Just because I didn't do it, it's gone. It's not gone. There's a chance to recapture anything. There is a second chance to be able to do everything. Maybe not exactly the same way as it was in the first time, and that's why Pesach Sheni was a little bit different than Pesach Rishon, but it can be done. That idea is a critical idea. It has saved people throughout their existence of knowing that there's a second chance. There are many beautiful stories of Holocaust survivors that were actually liberated on Pesach Sheni, and that on Pesach Sheni, that day became for them the realization that they were given a second chance in life, and that they lived their lives as if they were grateful and understood that this is a second chance. When you live your life that way, when you understand that you have a second chance, second opportunity, this time I'm going to make it right, it gives you such an incredible amount of energy. But the $1 million question that you have to ask is that why is it Davka Pesach Sheni? Why isn't it Sukkot Sheni? Why isn't it Shavuos Sheni? Why don't we have any other holiday that we have a Sheni to teach us this idea and to inculcate inside of us this understanding that, you know what, there are second choices, there are second chances. So I think that Korban Pesach is the most critical time. If you think back to your Siddharim, if you think back to your Pesach, so I hope that everybody walked away from their Siddharim with a sense of pride of being Jewish. Mika Amcha Yisrael, who's like your nation Israel, who has a ritual like this, who has a night like this, where we renew our membership in Klal Yisrael. It's not just that we thank God and we recognize God. God, you did awesome things to me. Thank you for taking me out of Mitzrayim. But God, thank you for making me part of this people. And that I'm renewing my membership. I am reinvigorating myself with a sense of purpose and meaning. I hope we walked away from our Pesach Seders that way, not just with a stomachache, or a little bit of being shikker, or a little exhausted, or a little annoyed. I'm hoping we walked away with a sense of pride and a sense of renewal of our membership. That's so critical that for that you need a second chance. That's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu built in this concept of second chance, davka by Pesach. Because on that holiday, where we're renewing membership, you need a second chance. If you missed it the first time, it's lamani gora. Why diminish me? Why not give me that opportunity to reinvigorate myself? Why not give me that opportunity to be able to infuse energy back into myself and to lift myself up so that I can make it through another year? That I can be filled with that sense of pride, remind myself of why I'm here and what I'm doing here. That's why I was built dafka into Pesach. You know, Pesach Mitzrayim, that was all about the redemption from Mitzrayim, the redemption from Egypt. Pesach Sheni is about redemption from ourselves. Today, stop for a moment and just think about this idea. Spend a second. Maybe it's when you eat a little bit of shmur matzah. There are those that have a custom of doing that on Pesach Sheni. Or just sit for a moment and just say, you know what? Maybe I missed it the first time. I'm going to take the second chance. I'm going to take the second opportunity that's been given to me, and I'm going to recommit myself. I'm going back in. I'm going to tie myself. I'm going to invigorate myself with a pride and a feeling of, wow, how lucky I am to be Jewish. How lucky I am to be part of God's people. I might have missed other opportunities, but I'm going to take this second chance. And remember, you're never locked into anything. There's always second chances. You can always use any moment as a catalyst and a moment to reinvigorate and to reconnect and to fire ourselves up again. There always is another chance. Look at how much God loves us. Have a beautiful, awesome, and amazing Shabbos.